This week on Hermitcraft.
Has anyone told you that you look a little bit like Winnie the Pooh?
Yes, and I'm owning it.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, and we seriously expected more of these people to be dead by now. As the Demise game progresses, we are finally hitting the moment when the scales start to tip, with our first two members of the Grayscale crew rising to the cause before the weekend. Were they the people you expected to kick the bucket first? Let us know in the poll in the iCards. But whatever the answer, here's hoping they'll stay motivated long enough to drag the rest into an early grave. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
Are you ready? Because you gotta be ready for this, because this is gonna be amazing.
Starting with Cubfan, as he is the one we'd expect to be deadificated by now.
Please, man, I got engulfed by a fireball, sniped by a skeleton, had to walk all the way across the nether in my leather, man.
While his will to live has him digging secret bunkers, his taste for adventures threw the guy for a loop. This week, Cubfan faces off with not one, but two Minecraft bosses, though luckily not at the same time.
Well, I guess the Wither is too afraid to fight us. That's the only explanation I can come up with for this.
First, Cub takes out the Ender Dragon with nothing but leather gear and one totem wasted. Then, he summons a Wither too. Unfortunately, by that point, all of his totems of Undying have run out, and Cub is at his hardest core yet. Still in full leather, but now just two Goombas away from certain death.
What do you think?
I don't know, man. This is the last one I have, and I think I might want to keep this for myself, because I'm not going to be losing this Demise game.
Of course, undeath refreshments are free over at Azuma's place, but it's fairly obvious that at this point Cub just wants on the other side so he can redstone trap other people's bases.
That's what you gotta find, man. We gotta see. We gotta test. You're gonna be the test lab rat here, and we're gonna have you run around, see if you can find a way in. That would be awesome.
And then I saw the button. I'm like, oh, there you go. I bet you were impressed for my keen eyes there, Cub.
The totem shortage might have something to do with that minigame, which makes you blow up like a dozen of them. Azuma stops by Undying the Second to update the high scores.
For the third round, what we're going to do is set up a prize and then charge the hermits to play. So there will be diamonds to be won, but there'll also be an entry fee of 1 diamond per run.
In his own death-defying stunt, X puts together a pillager pacification contraption to reform patrols at an industrial rate.
And there, I guess we could go ahead and break the minecart. Oh, and then you've dropped on the outside.
No doubt another chapter in using mobs for decoration, like he does this week with brown mushroom cows in the storage room for the Tower Bay melon and pumpkin farm. The spoils of his other pillager exploit, the raid farm, come in handy when Tango Tech wants a totem supply for the boombox minigame. The quadrant and the item distribution systems are in place, you see, he's just got to acquire the item stock. And if someone had been watching our show, he would have known that these things have been free for half a month now.
If that stackable item is selected from the dropper, blah blah blah, redstone, this guy right here is going to unpower, which will suck the items in.
Still, Azuma uses this as an opportunity to cash in an IOU from Tango, which he got way back at the beginning of the season. His demands? Tango is now not allowed to go after him if he is ever killed during Demise.
You can't come after me. Okay? You're not allowed to trap my base. You're not allowed to target me specifically.
Oh, that's alright. Because you know I would.
I know you would. That's why. That's why I had to call in the favor.
And you know that'd be good too. Alright, fair enough.
Though that's a bit of a waste, because we're pretty certain as to who Tango will go after first, given the opportunity.
Away we go. Happy fun times to everybody. Yeah. Stress? Escal? Whoever's, was there a moment where you were sitting around and going, hey, I got an idea. Let's make everyone hate us.
Yes, the Jack O'Mays minigame might have rustled his jimmies to a degree. The same goes for False Symmetry, though they had difficulties in very different parts of it.
The flippin' hat's not doing anything. Oh wait, the hat, does that need the hopper?
See, it's hilarious because our writer made a comic strip about hoppers being witch hats as far back as 2016. It's also hilarious because she broke every fishing rod provided in the chest while trying to reach it.
Goodness sake! Is this the last one? It's the last one! I've been locked in here forever.
Falsa at least gets to pass on her frustrations manifested in a microwaved version of the national vegetable of the Belarus Republic, and yes, we ran out of good synonyms for hot potato a few weeks back.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, she passes it on to Ijevin by sneaking the thing and a book to go with it into one of his shulker boxes as he restocks ore galore. The task, should he accept it, is to decorate as much of Hermitcraft as he can for Halloween. Quite timely given that his video about it came out just a day before.
Alright, so as you look through the shopping district, you will notice that there are pumpkins pretty much everywhere.
Jevin sprinkles pumpkins and cobwebs of all kinds around the shopping district, which adds just enough autumn colour to the area that maybe they'll keep it around for Thanksgiving too. You know, that holiday most of the server won't celebrate. Well, he certainly has the winter decorations down already, given that his whole base is more or less a giant waterbound Christmas ornament. The snowflake fidget spinner home continues to structurally expand, so much that Jevin puts together a scale model of it.
What if I built a center control tower right here? Now, this is obviously a very bad representation of what I am talking about, but I think like something coming out of the center would make it look really like space age kind of science lab, and it would look amazing.
Back at the Jacko Maze, Zedaf gives it an honest try as well as a groovy background tune.
Whose lever are you going to press? Casper the Ghost. Ghostbusters. No, that's the one. Ghostbusters. I did it!
It's fitting he'd have a horror soundtrack following him around since his costume is pretty terrifying.
This is the backside. By no means the least side. Plenty of hermits smushed all over everywhere.
Now for something equally horrific, Zedeth makes an appearance too, only a year late to his Mumbo celebrating ceremony. As a gift for winning that kill yourself as fast as you can challenge, Death grants Mumbo a clock that ticks away his time. At any moment, Mr. Jumbo can show up to it and see in the hopper exactly how much of the timer he's got left. Any bets on exactly how he rigged up the hopper to explode?
You dare to look inside and see how much sand remains? There might be 1,000 sand blocks. There might only be, like, 4.
When we say hopper, remember, we actually mean upside down witch hat. After redstoning the switches for the music challenge in the Jacko Maze, Iskel was the architect responsible for the witch-themed fishing minigame, which was not what we expected when he said he was setting up a witch trial.
And I changed up the wart to be wood. I'm stupid for using a stone one.
Speaking of burning things, he heads back to the diorite burner at Sahara and explains the project is on hold while he waits for honey blocks to stabilize some of the fancy stuff he'd like to do, but it does give him an excuse to restock something at Sahara, possibly for the first time ever.
Things take time, sometimes.
Customers will just have to deal with a raid he accidentally started there while working on his latest project, a beachfront resort for any remaining living contestants of Demise to relax and unwind and not think about death for a bit. Unfortunately, the local pillager patrols have other ideas, hence the bad omen he inflicts on the Sahara end of the shopping district, but with a bit of concealed lighting and a few discreet walls, hopefully the resort won't be his last.
We got our first member, ladies and gentlemen.
For more behind the scenes at the Jacko Maze, turn your eyes on Stress Monster, especially if you're a hermit wondering why you got stuck on the cobwebs constantly in that final maze. It turns out the floor under those carpets is made of ice.
To say though, I'm kind of happy that I don't have to tackle this myself, because sliding about everywhere on the backsides whilst trying not to get into the cobwebs, whilst trying to complete a maze on a timed basis, yeah, that doesn't sound like something for me. So I'm glad I'm building this game rather than actually tackling the game.
In retrospect, she finds herself wishing she'd charged players for the experience because she's already had to owe Rendog for some big logs stock. So, in an attempt to repay her debts, she takes Grian up on the entire catalogue of Demise Dares. First, she exits the aquarium, somehow managing to baffle even Grian.
I don't know how you did that with the bubbles.
I told you, okay, I'm a pro, and when diamonds are on the line, I can do these things.
You just broke the rules of Minecraft.
Next, she flies down to Y-65 in the void and escapes with a few hearts left. Third, she manages to navigate through a one-wide tube floored with lava. But finally, it's the Catch the Totem game that gets the better of her.
Oh, it's already on the floor.
No!
Very much dead, but 150 diamonds richer, Stress's first thought is, how can I get revenge on Grian? The answer is to watch some of his very own prank videos and visit them upon him with great vengeance and furious irony. But this lady will have to get in line because Rendog might just get there first. He was the first to die, after all, and he dies in a similar fashion to Stress, although on a completely different challenge, having succeeded in his own attempt to catch the totem. He technically succeeds at exiting the aquarium too, he just does it a little too enthusiastically.
Oh, I did it! Yes! Yes!
What? I'm quitting Hermitcraft. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Reawakening in Joe Hills' graveyard, Ren hatches a plot to deceive Grian into opening a trapped present he's left at the Sahara campus, but makes doubly sure only Grian will open it, first by leaving signs, then by straight up telling him about it in the chat. At the time of writing, we don't know if Grian has fallen for it, but at least Ren doesn't have to be lonely in black and white for long. One more contestant dares to go up against the Dropper of Doom, and ironically, drop is what he's then told to do. Azumavoid got the Void Jump dare as his first and only one. That's right, given 50 diamonds for a trick he's done before, X decides to cash out, and not a minute too soon. Having put far too much cash into paying off the winners, Grian closes the Demise Dares until further notice.
Closed. We're closed for business. People are bleeding me dry here. No more Demise Dares.
Still, the game accomplished what it set out to do. It got Team Unalive started. Now to watch it escalate from the safety of the Architect bunker under the Sahara Diamonds, which is located under the Sahara Diamond pile, in case anyone didn't hear the first 10 times we've outed them. Just kidding, no one who cares about spoilers watches this show, not even the Hermits. Although our shoutouts aren't going to do any good if Grian keeps mining with TNT and coming this close to blowing himself up. Still, one way or another, a section of the bunker is dug out. Now to get Iskall to fill it back with something fun and potentially capable of killing his bunker mates. Gotta remember, once one of the Archiboys is dead, the whole panic room is compromised. It might be a good idea to plop down a second hidey hole to hide himself from the other hidey people. Say, that Cherry Computers diamond pile looks fairly spacious.
Let's see if times are tough. Nope, times are good.
Not having a shortage of diamonds yet, Good Times with Scar also signs up for Demise. Luckily, he hasn't missed much of the action in the weeks he's been out of the recording chair. The other riches head towards the highway robbery minigame, where this time it's the sheriff's turn to have a point of interest built. Through massive terraforming and industrial marvels, Scar puts together a steam engine chugging along the enormous railway, hauling riches for the bandits to steal and get arrested over. It's a good thing that his builds are too short to take full damage from, though really nothing can happen to Scar as long as he has his animal companion with him.
Boom! Jelly on top of my head. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Time Lara, thank you so much for making this.
It looks like you're doing water aerobics with your cat.
I'm holding her above the water. I'm keeping Jelly out of the water.
The same probably goes for Joe Hills and his not quite so cute diamond block. But Joe is also a little concerned for his own safety during Demise, so he explores the main island looking for potential places for his own Demise bunker. For a moment he considers using the Team Starbase, considering it's already dug out and trapped, and has a handy carbonite freezing facility.
I hope there's not spiderwebs I could have been getting this whole time, because I'm going to be kind of mad about that if I missed a spiderweb opportunity.
Eventually he finds his way to the statue of Hermity, which would make a pretty awesome base to begin with if it wasn't swarming with mobs on the inside. So after a few close calls with creepers, Joe ends up lighting the interior, as yet undecided on whether it's for an unbustable bunker or just as a community service.
This doesn't have to be done perfectly first time. It just has to be done at all so that it's not terrible forever. So this is not lit.
The community spirit is also strong with Impulse SV, who decides to remedy his good buddy Tango's melancholy by fixing up the Iron Titan. It turns out it's more balked than even he originally thought though, since quite aside from the spawning mechanics changing, entity issues in early 1.14 seem to have deleted all of the villagers from the inside. But Impulse has a few villagers of his own going spare, and after a journey through the Nether he gets the Iron Titan Jr. up and running. At least now those drowned will have something to shoot at.
Come on now, Golems, you can make it. There we go. And the drowned are all excited. There we go, look at that. Oh my gosh, they kill these guys so fast.
Done with the repairs, he returns to his base where he's added a skylight to the slime farm, opened up his kelp room, and plans to add a new furnace array once he figures out what to do with the ceiling. TFC's approach to ceilings is to turn them into an artificial sky after one viewer suggested adding a fake backyard to the Overseer's apartment in his vault. The garden ends up so realistic it even comes with its own bugs.
hate those freaking things.
Mid-project, he also addresses the fact that there are no bathrooms anywhere in the vault, and sections off some of the back patios for each residence with a toilet cubicle, complete with high windows for lighting and privacy. Once again, TFC is not the only one going deeper underground. Mumbo has decided there's too much panic in this town and he needs a safer safe house. The approach he takes is to flatten an island next to Ijevin's fidget spinner and build himself something that totally doesn't resemble a prison. At least once the keycard door is in place, the bunker portion is dug out and the rooms are taking shape, he can finally fulfill his dream of becoming a basement vlogger.
Although no hermits have died yet, I fear for the future, as I believe chaos is on the horizon. Be strong, to anyone who is reading this.
And finally there's Doc M, who we last saw magically transported to his old world thanks to the mysterious Infinity Portal. With no such technology available for the return journey, he uses an old boat glitch to fly back to Hermitcraft, which apparently took quite a while.
I was watching the Hermitcraft Recap, obviously, because it was a long journey, and what do you do on long journeys? Watch a lot of videos.
Arriving back on the server 2 weeks late to sign up for Demise is no problem for a guy who owns a duplicate time machine, although it takes a couple of tries to calibrate, which might be why his brain was a little scrambled on the infamous episode of Is That Sheep Looking at Me?
Has an MB in it. Doc.
Mainboard.
What?
Oh my god. Mainboard? What?
The second time's the charm, and he makes it just in time for Demise signups, then returns to the present and becomes instantly paranoid about everything on the server. But considering he already has plans to kill people with anvils, that might just be justified. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. My Minecraft survival guide series just hit 250 episodes, and I celebrated by blowing up bits of the nether. You'll find that video in the end screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like on this video while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.